Okay, apparently people can hear me. So welcome to our webinar tonight. Thanks for joining us. Today we would like to talk about niche marketing. My name is Klaus and I'm talking later. I will hand over to another Klaus. We are the founders of Design4T and we would like to talk to tell you a little bit about niche marketing and why it's the key to successful t-shirts, to build your successful t-shirt business. So what will you learn in today's webinar? As I told you, niche marketing is very important. We will tell you exactly why it's that important and why you can boost your sales, your t-shirt sales with niche marketing. We will show you how you can identify a promising niche that you can promote your t-shirts to. We will also talk about how you can reach out and get to know your niche and their interests. And in the end, we talk about how you can come up with winning t-shirt ideas that your niche really loves and wants to buy. So let's just start. Why? Yeah, we started about 2 months ago and we see a lot of really great designs on our site, but not all of them sell. The question is, why is that? There are three possibilities. The first is, of course, that your design could be not compelling to your target audience. Or another reason could be that your audience is just too broad, that your audience is not passionate enough. It can also be that you target an audience that hasn't really money to buy a t-shirt. So you always need to make sure that you target people with a disposable income. Or it's possible that you have a great design, but you are just not sure how to market your product. And if nobody sees your t-shirt, then nobody can obviously buy it. So of course you can always try to sell your t-shirts to your friends, but this is not where it should end. In order to build a t-shirt business and in order to boost your sales and success, you need to market to a right niche. And that's what we call niche marketing, which is the solution to your problems. You need to market to a niche. But what is a niche? A niche, to tell you a definition, is a focused, targetable portion of a market. So this basically means if a business focuses on a niche market, it's addressing a need for a product or a service that is not being addressed by mainstream providers. A mainstream provider in our case could be a large clothing retailer. It's also a narrowly defined group of potential customers with a specific needs and a specific interest and specific demographics and so on. We will talk about that later, what that means. But to give you an example, instead of creating a t-shirt designed for people who love being outdoor and active, why not establishing a niche market by creating t-shirts for people who love, for example, to surf or who love to fish, or even more specific for people who love to kite surf or who love to do deep water fishing. Yeah, this all sounds quite interesting, but why do you actually need niche marketing? There are a couple of reasons. The first and the most important one is less competition, because other t-shirt designers may not even be aware of your niche market. And the large retailers, which means the large shops, clothing shops, they don't really want to bother with niche marketing. So retailers rather mass produce a few designs and hope they will appeal to enough people to sell. Whereas you want to create a unique design targeted to a very, very specific niche. The second important reason is much more focus. You can focus your energy and marketing efforts and also your budget if you decide to spend money for marketing on a very small but specific segment that is inclined to buy your t-shirt. So focus means basically that you have the time to uncover where your market hangs out and what sites they visit, for example, what Facebook pages they like and engage with, what social media accounts they follow. So this means sorry, that you can basically, that you know exactly where you can find your target audience and where and how you can market them. So you can place your design in front of the people who have a particular interest in what your t-shirt is about. then also niche marketing helps you to understand your niche market. You can understand your niche market extremely well. You can build up your knowledge of their wants and desires and tailor your design to it. So you can create a t-shirt that your audience loves. And of course, another important reason is that you create an exclusive and limited design. You create an original in comparison to the thousands and millions of t-shirts that shops sell. So it's really something special you create here and something that people love because it's targeted to the needs of your target audience. So let's go to the next slide. What is the actual procedure of creating a t-shirt campaign? What is very, very important, and you should always remember that, is that instead of creating a design and then working out to market it, rather do it the other way around. So first of all, find a promising niche. Make sure that there is an audience at all that would actually wear and buy your t-shirt. The more passionate your audience is, the better it is. Then you need to analyze this niche. You want to get to know your audience. You want to know what interests they have, what demographics they have, and I will talk to you later what we mean by that. Then, if you know what they really want and like, you create your t-shirt design that your audience loves. You create basically a design that appeals to that specific niche instead of trying to sell a very generic design to a broad group of people. And in the last step, you advertise your design to your target group. So to summarize again, and I want to repeat myself here because it's very important, it's the first step of successful t-shirt campaigns is always that you know who your target audience is. So instead of first creating a design, rather, before you start to design, know who you're designing for. I also want to give you an example what a niche could be. A niche basically is a group of people who share an interest or passion. So what could that be? That could, for example, be a fan of a sports club or an athlete. It could be a musician, a fan of a celebrity, a fan of a TV series, for example, Game of Thrones, a fan of a book, and so on. It could also be a profession. For example, people who are very proud of their jobs, let's say firefighters or pilots or nurses. And it can also be a hobby, for example, as I told you before, kite surfing or fishing. And it can also be something as easy as something to eat or drink, for example, chocolate or beer. Let's move to the next slide. How do you actually find a promising niche? Yeah, it's always important, the goal, that you find an audience that is very specific. And you want to do that with a very specific interest, because it's quite hard to target broad audiences because they are more difficult to target to because you don't really know who is in that audience. So an example, instead of to target water sport enthusiasts, which is a more generic interest, you could just target surfers or even more specific kite surfers. And you also need to make sure that you target a market segment that can afford your t-shirts design, because you can have the greatest t-shirt, but if your target group doesn't have the money, they won't buy. So really make sure that your target group has a disposable income. Then if you already have an idea, because the easiest way to start to think about a niche is if you start with yourself. What are your interests? What are your hobbies? What is your profession? If you already have an idea what niche you want to go, it's perfect. If you don't have an idea, you can always use that link here. I will show you. It's Facebook. Just check for Facebook pages, interest pages. You see there are millions of different interests, and you can just scroll a little bit here and see if there's a niche that really is interesting for you, and then go for that niche. For example, people love chocolate. Why not creating a t-shirt about chocolate or photography? Music is quite generic. I wouldn't target a t-shirt just for music, but if you go to a more specific genre of music, for example, hip-hop, it's fine. Nintendo 64, dancing, of course, and so on. Cash, we all like cash. You can always target people who like cash, and so on. There are really millions of different interests here. Just visit the page here, facebook.com/search/interest/pages, and search what an interesting niche could be. Let's go back to our presentation. Then you also need to make sure that your audience size is big enough. Of course, you want a very specific niche, what I already told you, which is important. You don't want a too broad niche, but you also need to make sure that there is actually enough of an audience to market to. Because if your audience is too small, it doesn't really make sense to target to that audience. Klaus will show you later how you can find out about how big your audience is. You can also do that on Facebook. Here's the link. And yeah, Klaus will show you later how to do that in detail. Then we have a little bonus tip. So it's always a good way to find very specific niche audience that probably many people haven't created t-shirts for. If you look for an intersection of different audiences, that means if you look for overlapping audiences. So you could combine an interest with a specific age group or specific gender. You could mix it with a location or profession or relationship status. I have created 2 examples here, so you better understand what I mean. For example, you could target an audience, people from Cape Town who have an interest in firefighting. Because about 1 month ago there were really severe fires on the Cape Peninsula. That's why we decided to create a nice t-shirt for exactly that audience, who live in Cape Town, who like firefighting, and we created a t-shirt with the slogan "For those who brave flames," and it really sold a lot of times. And we donated that money to the firefighters to support them. That was a really good idea. Another one could be women who are married and like fishing. That's actually a design that sold a lot in America. And you could create a slogan like, "This girl loves fishing with her husband." It's really a tiny, tiny niche, and it's very easy to target that group. But there's almost no competition, and as I said, it's really easy to target, and you don't lose too much effort or time because your audience is really small and specified. So always look for small and very specific audiences. Okay, then it's very important that you reach out and engage with your target group once you have found one, once you have decided on a niche. So you need to find out where do they engage online. Where can you find your audience online? You should start by thinking about where your audience hangs out and then reach out to them. So why not start following pages about the niche on Facebook? You should also Google for niche blogs and start and subscribe to the feeds of the niche blogs. Follow the niche members, and here I'm talking especially about the influencers on Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest, and Instagram. And then, of course, you need to start engaging and interacting with them. If you do that, that really helps you to learn from them, to learn what they like, to learn what they don't like, and to learn if they like your designs. You can just go ahead and ask them if you have a design idea, do you like my designs? And if so, always make a list of these people, for example, on Twitter, and so you can later contact them and promote your t-shirts too. Then you need to get to know your niche audience. You already do that by engaging and interacting and asking for feedback. But you can also do that by using the Facebook Audience Insights tool, which is very nice, and Klaus will show it to you later or just in a bit. because you can find out so many things about the interests. What interests does your audience have? Of course, if you target a niche fishing, you already know the main interest is fishing. But the tool shows you additional interests that help you to get to know your audience even more. And the more you know, the more easy it will be to advertise to that group and actually to sell to that group. So you want to find the best audience to promote your t-shirts to. Then with the Facebook Audience Insights tool, you will also find out what the demographics of your target audience is. For example, how old are they? Are they female? Are they male? Where do they come from? Where do they live? Are they in a relationship? What jobs do they have? You can find out everything with Facebook. It's amazing. And then, of course, what's the most important thing? Now that you know your niche, what t-shirts would your niche audience love and wear? Because you want to sell t-shirts, of course, they need to love this t-shirt. The obvious thing to do is to ask for feedback. I told you that before. If you have a design idea or a nice slogan, just ask them, would you love a t-shirt with that slogan? If they say yes, go for it. If they say no, just search for another slogan. And the second thing what you can do is to look for past designs. Get inspired by past designs. Still, it is very important that you create unique and original designs that are targeted to your niche audience. Yeah, you learned that already. But if you look at past designs, it's very important that you don't copy designs. Never do that, because you don't want others to copy your designs, your ideas, so don't do it. And also you want to create something original and unique. So here as well, you can just ask them what they like, or you just do some research on the internet. You can do that, for example, in the Google image search. Let's open Google Image. And I talked a lot about fishing. So let's see what other people created, what t-shirts other people create in the fishing industry. So you can search for funny fishing t-shirts and see what comes up. Here, for example, Eat, Sleep, Fish. That's a very famous t-shirt design that people love, that has sold a lot. Or let's see what else we have here. I love it when my wife let me go fishing. That's actually a very cool t-shirt design, and we have something similar in our design for tea. Somebody launched a t-shirt with the saying, I love it when my wife asks me to cry tonight, and that sold already. So somebody made quite some decent money with that design, or with that t-shirt concept, but a different niche. And so on. There are really millions and thousands and millions of different ideas where you can just pick a slogan and then create a nice design. Don't copy the design, as I told you before, but you can, of course, get inspired by some slogans and create a unique design. Another site is Pinterest, of course. Fishing t-shirts. Let's see what comes up here. That's actually a cool idea here. So you can always measure how big your fish is, but we don't print on the arms yet. It might follow soon, this option, but not yet. But the idea is cool, I like it. Shut up and fish. Okay. Just to give you an idea, you get the idea what I mean. There are really a lot of, here's the same design again, what we saw on Google. You can just research and get inspired. There are so many different design concepts you can get inspired from. And there are many, many more sites. I listed them all here. We will record that webinar, and you can always check the links here later, so you know where you can check for or where you can find inspiration. Okay, that's it from my side. I will hand over to Klaus now, and he will show you how to work with the Facebook Audience Insights tool and how to find out about your audience and about the audience size. Let's see if that works.
Okay, I hope you can hear me now. I just changed the microphone. Can you hear me? Just give me a hello or a hi if you can hear me. Just a quick hello in the chat window and in the question window so that I know that you can hear me. Okay, sounds good. Okay, sounds very. I will talk as loud as possible so that they can hear me. I put it a little bit higher, so it should get better now. Okay, Klaus spoke already about the different ways to find an audience. I will show you now on Facebook how you can actually see if an audience is big enough. How do we do that? If you're on Facebook and you see my screen now, hopefully, on my screen, that's your Facebook page. You know that. That's nothing new there. You go into Manage Ads. If you have never used Manage Ads, you will have to create an ad first, but then this part will show up. Here on the left-hand side, you will have different choices. One choice is to go in Audience Insights. That was Klaus was talking about that already. With Audience Insights, it's actually very, very good for you to search for audiences. I have some background noise. It seems so that somebody has. Let's just make me see. I'm not muted the microphone. Just a second. Okay, now hopefully it's better. Let's see. You can hear me now better than before, and you shouldn't have any background noise now. So going back to the editor. So what you see here, first of all, it starts always with the United States. Obviously, you want to change that to the country right now. Design4T delivers only to South Africa. That will change soon. Let's start with South Africa. Klaus was talking about the fishing niche. So for South Africa, we can say, okay, we want to target everyone who's interested in fishing. Now we want to bring that a little bit down, so we can start with fishing here and say, okay, Facebook helps you already, comes with fishing. Now what we can see here is up here on the top. You see that here. Facebook will tell you how many people in South Africa are generally interested in the topic of fishing. So we're talking about 400 to 450,000 people that are active in groups, in pages, and have somewhere in their profile the interest of fishing. So that's a good start with, but there's more information that comes from Facebook. Facebook also tells you about the gender and the age group. So what you can see here is how many, that 38% of women are interested in fishing, but it's 62% of men are interested in fishing. So the group of men that are interested in fishing is higher. Also from the age group, we have the age group 18 to 24, 25 to 34, 34 to 44, and so on. That's how Facebook splits different age groups. It's always that 18 to 24, 25 to 34, so you cannot change it. But what you see here is that you have the biggest group of people that are interested in fishing are men between 25 and 34 years old. Elderly men are not that much interested. So what you want to do is obviously you want to target the ones that have the highest interest. Seeing that here, we are targeting men in that age group. Can go a little bit higher, wouldn't go lower. We're talking about disposable income. So that means from our experience, somebody who's between 18 and 24 has not the income yet for some kind of instant buy shopping on the internet. So rather go 25 to 44 and men. That would be a nice target group. You get some more information out of it. If you go on page likes and then you scroll down, it will also show you what kind of other interests your target group has. So if you go here, we see now that somebody who's interested in fishing is also interested in the eyewear house, camp and caravan, and so on and so forth. So it's not really related to fishing, so I would leave that out. As we have now basically the idea of targeting men, I would change this here in age group. And if I do that, or when I do that, also the page likes will change. Again, I will change now 25 to 44 years old. So that's my target group for fishing in South Africa. And I can see where the other interests are. So there is nothing really in here in fishing, but I can go on and add more keywords here. So I think, just as an idea, I would add fishing bait, for instance. Fishing bait as an additional interest. Does not really help us actually bring from the age group. We're a little bit lower now. But what definitely helps is that whenever you add something here, let's see, we can add fishing rod, for instance. See if that makes any difference. No, we stay within 100, 150,000, but that's our age group and our target group in that case. The affinity, quite important. If you want to add more stuff and it is more related to fishing, you would add also other groups, pages that people like that have a very high affinity to that specific group. Now, with that age group, we say, okay, we now have 150,000 people that are monthly active in South Africa that are interested in fishing. That's not a bad group. So with that, we can save this audience. So we call it fishing as a. And would save the audience. Now with the next step, you can create an ad from that. So we will go into ads later on in another webinar to see how you create an optimized ad. We'd like to do another example so that you just get the idea of how is it working. So again, we start with the country, South Africa, which might be more countries that we offer in future. I reset the age group to the maximum. We'll go for this. And now try a different market. So we say, okay, fishing, I don't really have an idea for a fishing t-shirt. I might go for instance, motorcycles. Also a huge group, there's a lot of bikers there, so we can go into motorcycles and see how many people monthly are active in this specific field. You know this up here, this is, let's go to a new one, just to make sure that we're not getting confused here. Okay, so again, quickly, so we have South Africa here. And even if you want to target, we see South Africa here, but you might be interested only in, like, say, motorcyclists in Johannesburg. So then you would basically not only say South Africa, but you would say you want to target Johannesburg. So we want to have motorcyclists that are in Johannesburg. And enter my interest. Let's see how many we come up with. Okay. So in and around Johannesburg, we have 150 to 200,000 people who are generally interested in motorcycles. Now, this is a very broad market. It's very difficult. I mean, you might have an idea for a t-shirt in that regards. Let's see what the age group is over there. Okay, now you already can see. So 79% of my group, of my interest group, are men. Only 21% are women. So I would definitely go for men, for motorcyclists. So you see, actually, I have chosen only men. Women is not showing anymore, and I can see my age groups here. Again, my age groups are anything between 18 and 44. There's very little people that, or a very small group of people over 45 that are interested in motorcycles. Highest group between 24 and 34. So I would now change that to exactly that group. Again, almost the same group like the fishing group that we had before. Now you see I have basically edited everything else out. Let's say 34, there we go. So that's our target group, and we are over 60,000 people. Only in Gauteng that are interested in motorcycles. If we go for South Africa, let's see how many of these are ending up with 300,000 people. 300,000 people, that means 300,000 men in the age group between 25 and 35 are interested generally in motorcycles. Let's see what other interests they have. Other interests there start here, and now you can see the difference. A lot of them are interested in BMWs. The affinity is 2.6. That means the likelihood that somebody who's interested in BMW to click on your ad where you promote your T-shirt at the end of the day is much higher. So we are going definitely for the ones that are more engaged. So it seems that not a lot of people are interested in Yamaha and Honda and all the other ones. So why not getting a bit more targeted on your audience and say, okay, then we rather go because the affinity is much higher and the audience is still there. See, there's a very good audience on that one. We might go and just change this here to BMW. Let's see if we can find it. Facebook gives us this. Okay. Okay, there we are. BMW South Africa. Take this out. Okay. There's a very small group. Sometimes Facebook does not give you the full, or if you nail it down, it doesn't give you more information. So that doesn't really help us. But let's see if we go for BMW motorcycles. BMW Motorrad, let's see. Okay, we're coming up with 8,000 people. That's too less. What you should always look for is a group that is big enough that you can target. 8,000 is definitely not enough. Let's see if I found something else. BMW motorcycles. Let's see, on a strip of America, that won't help us. Let's see. There we go for motorcycles. Still the same. So the group here is very interested in the topic, but it's not big enough for us to sell t-shirts in that group. So it doesn't really help us. So we go for motorcycles. So if you have an idea for a t-shirt for motorcycles, then this is our target group. So we are looking for 300,000 people that will see our ad. We have an age group of men between 25 and 34, and that's what we want to target. There's more information to it. You can see the relationship status of the person. You can see the education level. You can actually see what job title or in which profession, in which field people are working, and so on and so forth. And you can also see the top cities that people are living in. So if there is a bigger group, then you really can go into a city. More information on that one is like how often are they on Facebook, what devices they are using, and so on and so forth. You can even go further and say, okay, you want to target only people who speak, for instance, English or Afrikaans and are interested in motorcycles. So if you have a T-shirt that should target male persons between 34 and 34 who speak Afrikaans, you can add the language here. Or you can say you want to only target people who are in a relationship or single. and so on and so forth. You see, there's a lot of information. You can combine it quite nicely and then see which group has the highest engagement for your T-shirt. And then what you do, as Klaus told you before, is you have found your niche, you have found your market, and the next step you go out and find a design, or you create a design that you think will sell in this market. Generally do always the same. Unfortunately for South Africa, there is right now at that point of time, Facebook is growing, it's getting more and more information by the day. If you're targeting, for instance, the US, there is much more information about users. From our experience, is this process of finding a niche works best. I have personally sold tons of T-shirts in the United States, going exactly the step-by-step process and first finding a niche, seeing how highly it is engaged with the topic, and so on and so forth. We will provide you with a couple of ideas of niche markets. We will add this as a download to our blog, so that you can go there and see there is an endless list of possible audiences in niches that you can go for. That might be sport. You need to be careful with sport niche. It's quite copyright on trademarks, always an issue there. But you'll see there's tons of other niches, and quite a few users of Design4T have already shown that they have the right idea. It's not only a hobby or a profession that might be interested, it might be also things that are coming up through the year. Just think about Mother's Day is coming up in 5 weeks' time. That might be St. Patrick's Day, that might be Bride Day, you can do Christmas T-shirts, and so on and so forth. So if you look into the calendar and there are specific days coming up, then when you want to raise awareness or you want to sell in the specific audience that people are basically related to that, then it's very easy to come up with ideas in this regards. I think I want to open the forum now for questions and answers. By the way, we have recorded this whole webinar, so you will be able to download that and to go through it step by step. And obviously, we will be there, and you can mail us and contact us on our chat and on the website if you have questions. We not only help you with setting up the campaigns on Design4T, but if you have a great idea for a T-shirt, but you don't have the graphic skills, then Brad and Calvin, our graphic designers, will be gladly help you with that. So just approach us with your idea, and then we can see how far we can help you with that. Okay, if you have questions, you can raise them now in the chat window. I will unmute Klaus now so that we can hear him as well. Let's see a question. So the question was the size issue has been resolved. Size issue in regards of what materials are. Just can you clarify a little bit more what you mean with that? Klaus, I've unmuted you now, so you can also will be online now as well. Okay, that's a good question coming up from Zach. Where do you draw the line in terms of copyright? What allows and what isn't allowed? Every campaign that goes up will be checked from us in regards of trademarks, copyrights, and anything else. We have one of the leading lawyers if we end up in South Africa in regard of copyright and all intellectual property issues. Obviously, you cannot use any kind of brand name, logos, etc. We have people uploading T-shirts with some Volkswagen logos and so on and so forth. We can't do that. So we will take them off. Same applies to team names, sports team names, music bands, and so on and so forth. So you need to be careful. There's always a way around it so that fans really will know what you're talking about. But you need to be careful with trademarks, and also if you're not 100% sure if it's trademark, you can ask us. We will look into it. But to be on the safe side for all of us, we will consequently take everything off that might infringe a copyright or a trademark. Teresa's asking about that sizes ordered were not always perfect. Yeah, that's right. In the beginning, we had issues with one of our suppliers, and we had to reprint T-shirts. Issue there came from two sides. One side was the supplier was delivering the T-shirts relatively small, so overall that was small. And we have also had people who did not check the sizing chart. So if you buy a T-shirt on our checkout page, there's the sizing chart for every product. That might be a T-shirt, a woman's cut T-shirt, a V-neck T-shirt, a hoodie, and so on and so forth. And as we are delivering custom-made products, so that T-shirt will be produced especially for that one buyer, we need to make sure, obviously, that the size is right. That can only happen if the buyer checks the sizing charts and basically measures themselves if that will fit. Yeah, we also have learned from that. So obviously we have reprinted a few where the people were not happy with that, and if in doubt, basically our recommendation is order the T-shirt one size bigger than you think. That's basically all I can say for that. Okay, I have Ronald asking, I have launched 2 campaigns, but I cannot view them on the website under featured campaigns, for I wanted to post the link on my ad for orders. Why is that? Featured campaigns will be managed from us from the back end. Ronald, if you let us know what campaigns it is, just send us an email to support@design4t. We can have a look, and then we will put them on the front page on the featured campaigns. Any other questions coming up? Again, into the niche markets, we will post a couple of other links. What applies to Design4t, obviously there are other platforms worldwide. This knowledge that we give you on hand now with finding the right niche market, the right audience, applies to any other platform out there. So it's not only Design4t. If you try that out, you can use that worldwide, and I can tell already that we will pretty soon open Design4t to other markets, so you will be able not only to sell within South Africa, but from within South Africa, as a seller in South Africa, selling your T-shirts also into other countries. Will come pretty soon. So that means that when you use the audience insights and you have a country there that you're not aware of, it will help you a lot to understand what your potential buyers look like there and how big the group of your potential buyers are. The audience insights tool is very powerful. There's much more to it, and we will at some point obviously give another webinar on that. It was very basic today, but it helps a lot to understand the basics first before we dive into the details. The understanding of this part is very important with this training, because the money that you spend, or put it that way, you can easily spend a lot of money on Facebook ads and burning a lot of money if you don't know how to do it right. If you know on how to do it right, you can make a lot of money with Facebook in selling T-shirts. I have made quite a bit of money in the last 12 months, and it is surprising by only learning and understanding how all this online marketing on Facebook works, how easy it becomes to make money there. Another question here coming from Zach. Where and how can I advertise cheaply and effectively? I know Facebook, for example, don't really allow you to resend or repost an advertisement, privacy and policies. No, there's a couple of things around Facebook AdWords that you need to know. With our next webinar, we will go into the topic of how to create the perfect Facebook ad. So that Facebook will accept the ad. There is this kind of infamous 20% text rule that you need to apply to, and a couple of other things. If you know on how to create the right Facebook ad, or you will not get in trouble with privacy policies or any other Facebook policies. Facebook is changing the policies by the day. Nevertheless, we will show you which ad will work and will convert best. I hope that answers your questions there. Okay, Angela is asking on ads. I know you mentioned it will be covered in another webinar, but as many other people at very possible ad block out there is no see ads in any social media. Not really. The Facebook has different ad sizes. The ad sizes, there might you will see the ads in your, or people will see the ads in their news stream. So ad block does not really work there. So you will see them within the news stream. That might be on mobile, that might be on desktop, or that can be on the site of Facebook. Where the side ones, they are just have been resized, so you will definitely see them. It was slightly different than in the past, but the ads that you see as featured ads in the news stream, people will definitely see. And you can reach click-through rates that are in the range of 10% and higher. Okay, I will hand over to Klaus. I'll tell you exactly where you will find the recording and where you can download the presentation. And again, if you have questions, drop us an email or just call through. You know all the ways to reach us. We're always we're very willing to help you to become a successful seller on Design4T.
Okay, it's Klaus again. To make it easy for you, we both are called Klaus. Yeah, thanks for listening today. As Klaus already said, we will, first of all, this webinar is recorded, so we will publish the download link as soon as possible. We will write a nice blog article with all the information that we provided today to our blog, which you can find on blog.design4t.com. And yeah, then also we have created the Design4T Academy, which is basically a member area where you find all that information we provided today and much, much, much more information, where we really get into detail how you can boost your sales and how you can sell your t-shirts on volume and really make a lot of money with it. So it's basically a blueprint how to make money with selling t-shirts online. You can find that Design4T Academy on this link here, http://member.design4t.com. I can quickly go to that site so you can have a quick look. That's our Design4T Academy. Usually we sell the course for 399 Rand, but this week or for a couple of weeks we sell the course for 199 Rand, just because we really want you to learn about this subject. We will also provide more webinars soon where you will get more information, but this course really has all the information you need to sell t-shirts on volume. Yeah. Do you have any more questions? If not, sorry for the bad sound quality. I think we need to buy a new microphone, but yeah, we are still learning as well, and yeah, I hope you understand. And as I said, we will publish that information if you couldn't clearly hear us today on our blog, so you can really read again and watch the recording. Yeah, that's basically it from my side. One more word, if you want to contact us or if you have more questions, please do so. We are really happy to help you, to assist you with your designs, with your targeting, with finding t-shirt concepts. So whatever questions you have, please come to us and we try our best to help you. You can use our support ticket system. You can drop us an email at support@designfortea.com. You can contact us via Facebook or Twitter, or if you're in South Africa, it's also always good to call in. And yeah, you can find all that contact details, all these contact details on our website, designfortea.com. Okay, I think that was it for today. Thanks for listening to everybody. And yeah, talk to you soon, and we will let you know about the blog article and the web and the recording of the webinar. Okay, thanks to you, and bye.